Hello. Let's get the light on. Okay, let me turn on this. Put this like that. Hello, everybody. We're just getting started with a live. I've been so sick. I've had the flu. I hope to say hi to many of you that hopefully will be joining and whatnot. Paper towel. I'm trying to my counter down here. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. Please do like and share and subscribe. I'm just getting started. Hi. Oh, gosh. So I was traveling, saw some of my family, and then I got the flu. So I have been sick and have not been able to talk a lot. I had a very sore throat. Even now, I still have a sore throat, but I thought I'll do a quick live because I want something on my channel. Thank you for joining, guys. How are you doing? So here I am. Oh, thank you for liking the live. Thank you for being here. Hi, Salifu. I'm okay. I've been sick. I've had the flu. How are you doing? After my nose is very blocked. Hi, Deku the manga fan. Hi. Hello, Cosmic Web. Yes, I do need some tea. I just had a chicken soup, which was very nice. So I'm good for a bit. Hi, Randy. Yes, I'm definitely feeling a bit better than before. I think it's the flu. I've had the flu this week. Hi, music. Gen X. Hi, Rats Thin. Thank you, Silifu. I'm in Boston in the United States. How are you? And where are you from? And I'm originally from India. Rash? I hope I don't have a rash. Do I like mayonnaise? I do kind of like mayonnaise, actually. Can you guys please subscribe? Salifu is saying I'm from England. London. I love London. How's it going there? I'll donate 500 if you can do a flip. Eve had a DP. Hello to Ecuador. Thank you, BWT. Or BWDT. I got it from a daycare, probably. I was visiting my family and I was at the daycare, and lots of kids with a lot of diseases there. So, most likely from there. Hi, Major Days. DP. I'm not sure what that means. Is that a display picture? I don't even know what you're trying to say, but thank you. Can you please like the live? Double tap. Can we get 10 likes? Thank you and welcome to all my continents. North, North America, South America, Africa, Europe, Asia, Antarctica, Australasia. Everybody, welcome so much. And thank you so much for being here. Oh, and also, somebody said that they'll donate $500 if I do a flip. I am very sick. I have the flu and I cannot do a flip, but you should still donate $500 and break it up into 300 and 200 because I think the max for a super chat is 300. But that's just what I think. You do you, man. Thank you and welcome to the live. And please, can we get 10 likes? Hi, Exode. Hi, DOD. I just wiped the counter down. I feel like it's still not dry, so I don't want to put my laptop on it yet. Ooh, I need to share the live. Can someone share my live? Hi, Shubho. Um, Hi, Nitin. I do wonder if none of my mods are here. It could be bad timing for my mods. But I'm here, guys. I'm here. If you're not subscribed, you should subscribe. We cover physics, astrophysics, astronomy, cosmology on these lives. I've been sick, but that's what we generally do. And the lives are a lot of fun. And it's a great learning opportunity for many. Thank you, Shawl Dog. Hot green tea. Stay hydrated. Thank you. Hi, Shabu. Um, Jaws, shoulders, and neck. It has been, it's definitely gotten my throat, whatever it is. So yeah, I got these from Wayfair and it's kind of a pain to put them up, but somebody helped me. And now that they're up, it's totally worth it because they love it. Yeah. Sorry, not as energetic company tonight. How is everybody doing? I know a lot has changed in this world since the last time we spoke. Sarah. And indeed, my last live was last week, before the middle of last week. So, in fact, no, it was last week, but early last week. And then I was traveling, and then I got the flu. So, excuse my gap here. Ben, how are you doing? Shalom. How are you doing? I'm so sick, but I wanted to say hi to you guys. How are you doing, Ben? Hi, Dodge. I've been sick. He is. I will be under the blanket very soon. Don't worry. I have been under many blankets for a few days now. I will be. I'll be going to bed early in a few minutes, okay? But I'm better today, but I'm still recovering. I've been sick. Blankets won't protect you from the missiles. I know, the missile attacks are significantly less. Okay, good to know that, Ben. Hi, Max the cat. Thank you, Noah. Oh, thank you. Please do subscribe. I need it. Can people subscribe? I feel like she's going to say some about her stepdad. Hello, that can. Y- We cover physics and astronomy and astrophysics and cosmology here, actually. Not the zodiac. But I can tell you my zodiac sign if you so wish. Hugs and kisses. Gosh. Gosh, oh gosh. When I say I am so tired and unable to. Um, I haven't really followed the Epstein stuff, but I mean, Is Stephen Hawking part of that? I care about the physics that he does, or slash did, because he's dead, um, more than him as a person, for sure. It could be that he's not a great person. There is. Did you watch the Neutrino video of physics girl? Um, okay, well, safe travels to you if you're coming to the US. Safe travels. Maybe keep it to yourself if you're traveling. Hmm. Everybody stay safe. Safe travels. And use your discernment and safe practices. Don't post on social media when you're traveling. Okay. I know I work on social media, but social media, I think it's a great place to talk about physics and learn physics, astronomy, astrophysics, and cosmology. I don't think it's a good place for telling people what you do in great detail. Hi, Justin. Hi, Godzilla. Baji means older sister. I think that I think it means that. Yes. Baji is the name of a kitty cat in this context. Hello from Brazil. Welcome, Brazil. Where in Brazil are you from, Jean? Are you married? Hello, Jintan. Hello, Candace. Hello, Justin. I'm gonna name this live I am sick with the flu. Join to say hi before bed. That's what I'm calling this. But everybody, please do take care. Welcome to Brazil. Yes! There was no reason for you to give that person such a hard time. Hi, Noah. You must be new here. Please do subscribe. Thank you, humane SB. I love your name, the bee. Thank you. My name is Oindri B. That is my handle on all of the social medias. Um, thank you. Hi, Taco. This is not pre-recorded, although I do publish a lot of pre-recorded live videos. And when you come across those, please do show some support and give them some love. Really appreciate it. Tonight, I have lost my voice. Don't have much of a voice, but I appreciate people who are coming by to say hi. Hello. Oh, I'm gonna make a goal. Why not? So, Ben, things are a bit better today. Thank you, universe. Oh, I also want to share the live. Do I look tired? That's good. Hope that things quiet down. Hi, Jeremy. I'm sad. More like I'm sick. It's about to be 1 a.m. It's 1:30 here. Ben, don't say where you're from. Makes me makes me nervous. Thank you for liking the live, by the way. Everyone, until there is more peace in this world, feel free to not say where you're from. Protect protect yourself. Okay, let me go share the live. I'll be right back with my phone. Okay, the lesson. That's a great point. Should I share the thing you sent me yesterday, Ben? I might do that. $7:30. Good. Um, actually, you know what? I might just remember we were covering my 1 second. Hi, Barry. Hi, Juggernaut. Hello to Queens. Please do like and subscribe. Hi, Light Healer. Hello, Ray Appliance. Queens, New York. I love Queens. It has good Bengali food. Thank you, Ben. Oh. So I'm actually thinking, let me find my thesis again. Where is it? I know I don't know. Ugh, are you serious? Oh my god. Mm. Thank you, Light Healer. A lot of rappers. Of course, New York is a place for a lot of very talented people. My screen name? Oh, their screen name. I'm glad you find it funny. Ever been to Queens College campus? I have not. Hello, hi Pumbafo. Okay, I'm looking for something that I'm not finding very easily, but let's see. Actually, you know what? You know the frick what? I think what we'll do is the following. Where is... No, not that. Ugh, did I delete it? Did I delete? Oh, there it is. Oh gosh, there it is, there it is, there it is. I thought I deleted my thesis. I think I find it. I finished my first 3 classes with straight A's. Oh, congratulations. Congrats, guys. Everybody in. Okay, so now, do you guys remember me talking about my thesis a while ago? You probably don't, and that's okay. You will find the discussion in an earlier live where we discussed particle astrophysics because that's what my thesis is in. Okay. And I remember talking about the astrophysical messengers and multi-messenger astronomy and how there's other particles other than light, for example, gamma rays, well, other than visible light, because gamma rays is a type of light, but not visible light. Then there is cosmic rays, neutrinos, gravitational waves. We talked about all those types of things as being messengers of astronomy and various different ways in which we can leverage these other things to study astrophysics. So if you kind of remember that one, then hopefully that should make sense. I think we spoke up to um, the astrophysical messengers segment. Glad you're not in Antarctica now. Well, hard to get the flu there unless you're close to somebody who already has it. It's nice there in a sense. You know? So now we'll talk about neutrinos as astrophysical messengers really quickly, and we'll talk about optical Cherenkov neutrino detectors just for fun, okay? Because this is of course covered in my thesis. Um, I think I've shared my thesis in the past. Maybe Ben can share it or something if you can find it. But also, sometimes we talk about this topic. We've covered a lot of other topics recently, like dark energy, dark matter, um, and a bunch of other astrophysics and cosmology things. Dark energy is something that we've been covering quite a bit. And then, as I was saying earlier, I had a bit of a trip, then I got sick. So sorry about the bit of a gap in our materials here, but we will take a look at this topic because this is going to be interesting. Okay. And someone pointed out about Antarctica. This experiment was set in Antarctica. Um, so probably next time we'll get into the instrument part of it, which is the Antarctic Impulsive Transit Antenna, which I worked on. What time is it there? It is 1:43 a.m. If you have questions, put them in the chat, even if I don't get to it tonight. Um, put it in the comments of the video when it gets uploaded as a video um, under the live tab of the channel, and I will um, look at it as a. It's not worth it. Stop being sick tomorrow. What? What do you mean? So I'll try. So put it in the comments so I can get to it. I'm sick, so that's why. I also have a goal. If you guys want to help me with my super chat goal. Oh, thank you. Yes, please do join. Uh, give me 1 second, please. I will share the live. Oh, I should wear my sunglasses again. My night vision glasses. Time travel is possible at the microscopic level. So particles actually do it all the time, but macroscopically, I think it's possible, but the technology to do it does not exist. My favorite movie in sci-fi is Interstellar, probably. Not that I've watched every type of science fiction movie in the first place, but that's my favorite. um, but yeah, as far as time travel is pretty mundane in terms of like it happens all the time. In particle physics, um, particles doing it and whatnot. It's It happens all the time. Yeah. The Hadron Collider, what about the Hadron Collider? It's good. The Hadron Collider hosts a number of experiments trying to probe things that we're trying to find, you know, important things that would be very necessary, like supersymmetry and stuff like that. Hi, whoop de doo. Okay. Hi, Godzilla. The paragraphs. Okay. All right. So now let me let me tell you a little bit about neutrinos as astrophysical messengers. So this is going to be from my thesis that I myself wrote, and it is focused on basically doing astrophysics, but with particles other than light, uh, definitely particles other than visible light. So I've mentioned some gamma ray type of experiments that uses the type of light that is in that wavelength of gamma rays. But more specifically, my PhD was focused on utilizing neutrinos as the astrophysical messenger. And these are particles that are part of the lepton family in particle physics, in the standard model of particle physics. And so sometimes I call them the much, much lighter and also neutral charged, so no charge, cousins of the electron because they're in the same particle family as the electron, but they're not like the electron totally because they are significantly low mass, much lower mass, and also they don't have a charge. And so they only interact through what we call the weak nuclear force through W and Z bosons. Some some bosons that are different from the photon, for example, which is also a boson, things like that. So neutrinos are sort of this different kind of lepton particle that tend to be very elusive, introverted, don't really interact much with anything for that matter. Of course, the cross section of interaction depends on the energy. And of course, you probably have heard of neutrinos a lot in the context of our sun. And pretty much really any nuclear reactor, natural or man-made, will produce probably a ton of neutrinos. But something to note about neutrinos in general is the energy at which they're produced, depending on what is the production method. So the sun will produce neutrinos at a very different energy. Um, at a much lower energy than, say, some other cosmic, accelerator kind of process, which is predicted to produce neutrinos at a much higher energy. So, depending on the type of experiment, this energy regime uh, that you want to probe is very important. Okay, so you want to be aware of your sort of cousin experiments. Like, you can operate in a certain bracket of energy, but you want to also be aware of the experiments that operate at lower energies, much lower energies, higher energy, much higher energies, and so on and so forth. Because generally in science, in physics, we want to kind of establish our, where we are, the foundation, and where we are in comparison to other things as well, so that you know what you are complementing and um what you are, and also what you're not, and what you're complementing and what you're not complementing. So the you'll kind of see in the thesis going forward that the experiment I talk about, which is the ANITA experiment, Antarctic Impulsive Transient Antenna, that one operates in what we call the ultra high energy regime. Now, this ultra high energy regime, would be basically the neutrinos energy. That's what we mean. The neutrino would be coming in with a very high energy. What is defined as 10 to the 18 EV or more. That is not the center of momentum energy. Okay. So when we say, somebody mentioned about the Large Hadron Collider, sort of the energies of collision, the stuff that is able to be achieved in a human made collider or particle accelerator like that one, uh, I believe, last I checked, was something like 14 TeV. So that is 10 to the 12 EV. The type of experiment that I will be talking about, that same center of momentum energy, is something like 40, 45 TeV. Okay, so there's a difference between center of momentum energy and uh, the energy of the individual particle. So keep that in mind as well when we talk, because I talked about energy regime, which goes into, you know, discussion about the energy. You should keep in mind that there's a couple different ways in which we can talk about these energies. One is the center of momentum way. And for that, I want you to think about the Large Hadron Collider as a great example, because the Large Hadron Collider, of course, was built to do particle acceleration and probe experiments in those types of environments. And we know about sort of the highest energies that we can kind of reach as humans at this point in a human-made environment like that. And it's about 14 TeV. So that gives you a pretty good idea. 14 TeV, center of momentum, is pretty high energy. Took a lot of years and years of work before we could reach that in the Large Hadron Collider. So now there are natural processes that can also reach those types of center of momentum energies. And some of them is what we look at here. Those are pretty rare though. So another thing to keep in mind about all of this is not something that we expect to be able to catch happening all the time, because this is pretty rare. But there are predictions and things like that for these types of natural um, particle interactions, which are sort of that equivalent energy would be, center of momentum would be about 45 TeV. So the neutrino that makes something like a 45 TeV center of momentum energy interaction, which we're interested in probing and measuring, that neutrino is going to be an ultra high energy neutrino going at 10 to the 18 eV or more. So those are the neutrinos that this experiment was supposed to be sensitive to. Just so you know, these neutrinos are not the same energy as the ones coming from, for example, the sun, or even probably a supernova or some such other types of things. Now, a supernova, if it's a very high, um, like high energetic supernova, like hypernova, maybe, I could see such particle acceleration happening to the point where maybe it makes an ultra high energy neutrino. But generally speaking, I wouldn't expect ultra high energy neutrino from um, most mundane things. Okay. Uh, so keep that in mind, that the neutrinos that Anita, or these experiments in the Antarctic, I mean, there's a number of them. Some of them are in other, they're in complementary energy regimes. The most famous one is called Ice Cube. It is quite literally at the South Pole of the Earth. And like, like close to the South Pole, geographical South Pole of the Earth. So there's a station, a US base actually, called South Pole Station. So you could go work there actually if you wanted to, um, especially if you're interested, in these types of things. And if you find a way to get there, you could go support these types of activities. The South Pole Station, um, it's the bottom of the Earth, and they run this experiment called Ice Cube, which is literally a cubic kilometer of ice that they use to detect high energy neutrinos. So neutrinos that are not as high energy as the ones that I was looking for, but they're like a few orders of magnitude lower energy, still very high energy. So, all the different experiments kind of look at different energy regimes, but just remember that there are also some other experiments. Like, for example, there's Super K in Japan. A lot of neutrino experiments look for neutrinos that are coming from the sun. The sun makes a frick ton of neutrinos, okay? And the sun is, of course, very close to us. So uh, something like MeV, energy, MeV, 10 to the 6 EV of energy of the neutrinos, something like that level of energy of neutrinos is much, much more common. Much, 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 much more common, okay? So if you were an experiment trying to look for that, then your flux of neutrinos versus if you're an experiment looking for 10 to the 15 eV neutrinos versus 10 to the 18 eV neutrinos is very different flux. So I want you to understand that. Yes, we're talking about neutrinos in all of these experiments, but the energy regime matters a lot. Okay, so on Earth, if you're looking for neutrinos that are around MeV range, 10 to the 6 eV, you'll get a lot of neutrinos. If you're looking for ones that are like 10 to the 15 eV, you'll get probably a lot less. 10 to 18 eV, lot less. You might even begin to wonder if they even exist. Okay. And um, sometimes you don't find them at all, and you cry tears, you cry tears of blood because you think that you have to find one in order to graduate. um but no, actually what happens is sometimes there are theoretical predictions for certain, say, flux of neutrinos from some type of source or something out there, and you realize by looking very hard and not finding any that, oh, this theory has to be absolutely updated because it seems to be hella wrong at predicting the flux of neutrinos that I should have seen. I looked and I found none. So I'm going to constrain the theory. So a lot of the times, and I'm of course simplifying it a lot, but basically, you can look for, by the way, you can also look for neutrinos in a couple different ways. You can look in a specific direction from a specific source that you think exists, or you can do sort of what we call a diffuse flux search, a search for a diffuse flux, right? So this, for this one, you're not caring about the direction. You're just like isotropically, homogeneously, whatever's out there. I hope I see you when I'm looking, you know. And so those are the two things, okay? When you're in this business of neutrino searching, you either look for neutrino from a source or you look for a neutrino that is out of the diffuse flux. So both are very hard, but in different ways. Okay. Um, so let's say you're doing a diffuse search, neutrinos, diffuse search for neutrinos, diffuse flux, sorry, search for diffuse flux neutrino. Mhm. And you look and you look, and you use like years of data or whatever data you collected over the years, and you look and you look and you can't find any. Then you will basically have certain curves to look at, which were the theoretical predictions of the diffuse flux of neutrinos. And you will say that, well, this curve was like up here. Let's say it looks like this for some reason. You're like, I checked, and this curve gotta go down. Like it's not up here, it's actually down here. So literally what you're doing is you're stomping on the curve that had predicted more neutrinos than you can find because you literally looked and couldn't find that many. So you're like, you gotta come down. You gotta go way down. Okay. Or maybe a little bit down or something, right? Depending on your results. So this is an area where experiment and theory have to work kind of like this in hand and inform each other, because oftentimes the phenomena that we're trying to probe with these neutrinos is not something that happens close to us, or it's not something very easy or easily probed to the point where you can just do whatever and think whatever and it's right. It is a process of iteration and going back and forth that kind of tells you what is, out there. We're literally looking for particles from the farthest away sources. In some cases, the, you know, ends of this cosmos. Of course, the neutrino has to make it to us, but it could have come from a very far away place. So exactly what happened there is not something that we can take for granted. And you find that out pretty quickly in this line of work, okay? All right. So hopefully that makes sense. Hi, Shrey. Will you provide private class in physics? I try. Are you interested? What was this person's question? I still can't find it. Can we get 50 likes even though I'm really sick and okay. Neutrinos, let me just read a little bit from my thesis because I was telling you things I was telling you things from from my just my mind, just thinking about it, getting a perspective and whatnot. But so neutrinos are potentially perfect candidates for carrying information about distant particle accelerators all the way to us. Due to being neutral and weakly interacting, neutrinos would remain unattenuated and point straight back to their source. In this way, they would have a definite advantage over messengers such as cosmic rays. So, because neutrinos are neutral and weakly interacting, they don't interact along the way as much as other things. And so, for example, they wouldn't get bent by magnetic fields in the galaxy or wherever in order for them, along the way of them reaching us. So, in that sense, neutrinos are really good. They're also the side product of almost every nuclear reaction and can carry versatile information about particle physics taking place at cosmic distances. Thank you. You guys are funny. So, um, their association with sources such as gamma ray bursts would confirm, for example, whether protons, in addition to electrons, get shock accelerated in the fireball model of the GRB. That sentence is very specific. I was pointing out something that finding neutrinos would confirm about gamma ray bursts, and I have a whole review on gamma ray bursts. It's a transient event that is of particular interest to me. So never mind me if you think that that's confusing. Um, but if you like gamma ray bursts, then you should definitely, follow along and let me know so I can cover more from that topic as well. I do have a review on gamma ray bursts on Amazon, a short book on it. Okay. So anyway, despite a lack of observation so far, ultra high energy ultra high energy neutrinos are predicted to be produced in two ways. The more commonly referenced of which is the cosmogenic method. The cosmogenic method entails the interaction of cosmic rays with cosmic microwave background photons, or CMB photons. And basically, the cosmic rays are predicted to travel cosmic, yeah, just like in your name. Cosmic rays are predicted to travel only about 50 megaparsecs, which is a length of time, or a, a length, basically a distance to 50 megaparsecs, before they interact with CMB photons, which is known as the GZK effect. So basically, these cosmic rays, because of how they interact with photons, they're not going to be able to go too far before they interact with a photon. Um, and that process also makes neutrinos. So that's our cosmogenic method. This is thought to cause the sharp drop in flux at the highest energies. And that flux is the flux of cosmic rays, okay? So cosmic ray flux sees a sharp drop in the highest of energies. Why? Because they are getting stopped through their interaction with the CMB photons. So anyway, such an interaction can also potentially lead to the production of ultra high energy neutrinos, although no cosmogenic neutrinos have been observed so far. As of the writing of this thesis, I don't know if they have been observed since then, but I haven't heard. Anyways, thank you, homebrewer. I really appreciate that. You're so sweet. May the neutrinos be with you. Neutron star are the most heaviest things. Okay, the second way of producing ultra high energy neutrinos is the astrophysical method. This is my favorite way. This is the way that I care about. I don't care about the cosmogenic ways really that much. The astrophysical method involves the production of ultra high energy neutrinos, mhm, mhm, in nature's most powerful particle accelerators, such as GRBs, gamma ray bursts. This will be discussed in more detail in chapter 5. So my chapter 5 of this thesis will discuss it. In both the cosmogenic and astrophysical methods of producing ultra-high energy neutrinos, a commonly referenced process of production of the same is through the interaction of a proton and a photon, creating intermediate pions and ultimately creating neutrinos. So I'm going to show you that method. Thank you all. Thanks, Neil. I have to blow my nose. Thank you. Thank you. Go buy something nice. Ugh. Thank you so much. 1 second, please. Let me blow my nose. And I'm gonna rotate for this part. I don't want you to see. Hi, Kira. Thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Ugh. So, I have the flu, guys. I have the flu. Hi, Antonio. Oh, I have the flu. Thank you. See you next time. So, can you see this? Let me show. I'm going to talk about. All right, see that? This is the method. See how there's a proton and a photon there? This is the proton, this is the photon. It's a gamma ray. It makes an intermediate delta plus particle. This is the delta plus. It's a very angry intermediate particle. It's not stable at all. Okay, with that energy. Then that can go into a neutron plus a pion plus, or so it can either make this or it can make a proton and a neutral pion. If it makes a pion plus, then the pion plus can make a muon plus plus C, a muon neutrino. So there you have a neutrino, which, by the way, a muon is not as stable as an electron or a positron. So that will make a positron plus a bunch of neutrinos. If it made a pion zero here, a neutral pion, then that decays to gamma rays. And a neutron too can decay to protons, electrons, and electron antineutrino. So all of this is to say, you basically get potentially ultra high energy neutrinos through this process. So this is a process for production of ultra high energy neutrinos that can um, that you can get from simply a proton and a photon. It's in my thesis, guys. I used to live in India, yes. And then I came to the US for higher education. I was in India till high school. The US is where I came for college. I got into a college. Well, I got into a multiple, well, a few universities. Most of the ones that I applied to. I applied to only a few. And that is how I came on a student F1 visa. And I also went to grad school here. And after years and years of training me, the US decided to adopt me and keep me here, at least so far. So yeah, hopefully you liked. I love that interaction. I love that production process. See, a proton is a simple cosmic ray. I was talking about cosmic rays earlier, right? Well, cosmic rays, what are they? They're charged particles. What's a simple charged particle? A proton, right? You don't need to be a whole molecule or something bigger than a proton to be a cosmic ray. Even a proton is a cosmic ray. So isn't that so interesting? A proton, just a proton, which there's a ton of those in the universe, because remember guys, remember, quiz question, the most abundant element in the universe is what? The most abundant element in this universe, even now, even today, is what? It is simplemente, hydrogen. What is a hydrogen? Well, depending on the isotope, it's just a proton. So there are, I mean, there's cosmic rays or protons being made and whatnot in different processes too. Like, for example, those gamma ray bursts that I mentioned, right? Any kind of particle accelerator in nature could make like really high energy protons, not just protons that are sort of chill, but like high energy protons. And those high energy protons are basically going to be high energy cosmic rays, which we could also measure. In fact, with my experiment, Anita, you do measure high energy cosmic rays as a side product, which we didn't talk about yet, but you could. So we know that there are these things, right? First of all, there's a ton of hydrogen in the universe, period. And also there's processes that could make protons, right? So now you've got protons, and we already had CMB photons. We know that there's a bunch of cosmic ray or a bunch of cosmic microwave background photons just chilling from the early universe days. So now, because of the cross section of interaction there, you'll have a photon and a proton just interacting, making that thing the delta plus, like I was showing you. That thing is not stable, so that makes pions and either neutron or proton, and then those eventually decay to neutrinos. So the path is some delta plus thing, pions, and ultimately you get neutrinos. Now, if your initial proton there is ultra high energy, then the produced neutrinos should also be ultra high energy. Okay, so I love this process. It's a pretty simple one, but you get neutrinos through it. And so if you can get the cosmic rays and you have proof that there are such cosmic rays, then honestly, there are also such neutrinos, and we have to detect them with our experiments. Okay, so keep this process in mind. It's a very common and highly referenced one. Uh, and it can happen in a number of places. Hi, homebrewer. Thank you. I'm in Boston. Yeah, it's beautiful. As in, yeah, it's lots of snow. It's been white everywhere. Did you guys like that? Okay, thank you for the comments. Ooh, let me show you this. So look at that. So this is basically a cosmic ray going through the cosmic microwave background. This is what the CMB looks like. Okay, so see, it says depiction of a cosmic ray interacting with the CMB. Thanks to the Planck telescope for the CMB picture. So the Planck telescope took a picture of the photons I told you guys about that are chilling from the early universe time, that are called the cosmic microwave background photons, CMB photons. And see, this is the Planck's image. This is called, sometimes this thing is called a baby picture of the universe, because when the universe was only about 300,000 years old, these photons are from that time. Planck is Planck. Now, because we have these photons, well, a cosmic ray could be kind of like going through and has some cross section of interaction with the photons, and then you get that this process that I was just talking about. See, because a proton could be going through and interacting with the photon from the CMB at any point. It's highly, possible, and then you get this production of neutrinos. So that's what this is. You could basically have a cosmic ray kind of go through and do this. But then also remember, I talked about the cosmic ray flux. So this right here on the in the y-axis, this is flux. This is kind of a um, just think about this as flux, okay? And then this is energy. okay, on the x-axis. You can see how these are different experiments that have measured the flux of cosmic rays. So Auger is one, Hira is two, Tonka, Yakutsk, all these ones. Auger is the one that I'm most familiar with, uh, and whatnot. So there's some other ones too, Ice Top, Cascade. Basically, these are all kind of making measurements of the cosmic rays that they see and see how the flux. So this is the flux, okay? The flux is as a function of energy. So see how in the energy scale, you basically have this is 10 to the 16 EV, this is 10 to the 17 EV, this is 10 to the 18 EV, this is 10 to the 19 EV. It's going up in energy, obviously. But then look at the flux. It's coming kind of like down, 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 and then a sharp, sharp drop. So this sharp drop at 10 to the 20 EV, okay, that is basically, we think that this sharp drop is because when uh, when you have cosmic rays that are that energetic, they can only go so far before they will do this. And once you do this, you're basically not getting the cosmic ray. You should be getting the, well, it'll be stopped. Basically, it's making some other stuff now, and you get something like this process, and hopefully you get these neutrinos. But you'd have to be looking for these neutrinos with a different kind of instrument for you to be seeing these neutrinos, and that was the um, point of the experiment I worked on. But the field of study here is particle astrophysics. So, but yeah, so see, the cosmic rays. This is a very important chart. The cosmic rays are also particle astrophysics messengers. They are also a type of particle. It's different than the neutrinos, but they're also a type of particle that we can use to study astrophysics and astronomy. But look at the limitation here. You can see that especially at 10 to the 20 ev, at these high energies, the cosmic ray flux is dropping because cosmic ray is something that will interact with other things like photons and go through a different process there, and they won't just keep coming towards us forever like a neutrino would, because a neutrino is weakly interacting. So how a neutrino interacts is so different that it has merit to it in the sense that uh, it will stay intact, whereas a cosmic ray at the highest energies cannot actually make it to us anymore. The flux will drop significantly. Any higher, you can't even see any, because they have done something like this. Okay. So see how so this is actually like a real problem, um a real problem in so this is all the astrophysical messengers I talked about. So look at this. Optical light is there from the beginning of time, from the beginning of astronomy. We've used optical light to do astronomy. More recently, we've started to use something like gamma rays, so light of other wavelength. Gamma rays are a really short wavelength light. So this is, by the way, cosmic picture in gamma rays, right? So Fermi took this picture, and this is what the universe looks like when you look at it in gamma rays. Um, See this one, microwaves, right? Cosmic microwave background, because the cosmic microwave background photons are of that temperature. Um, the they're basically microwave is the wavelength there. But if you look at things in gamma rays, that's what that looks like. But then, there are experiments that are utilizing gamma rays to do their work and basically relying on, say, certain sources producing gamma rays, and we would have to like detect those gamma rays and figure out, okay, why
does this source produce this, and like look at the universe literally through that window, right? The messenger there would be the gamma rays. But then sometimes it is, you know, it would be advisable to utilize cosmic rays, like, and look at, look at where the cosmic rays are coming from, and why that source makes cosmic rays. And so that's what I mean. Like that's another astrophysical messenger. Huh. And then sometimes you really want to rely on neutrinos because, as I was showing you, cosmic rays have a big disadvantage. In fact, all of these things do. Gamma rays, optical light, cosmic rays, they all get attenuated. They all get attenuated and or stopped because of the way they interact, whereas the neutrino, because of it being weakly interacting and not charged, it can go all the way without getting stopped. But that also makes it a difficult thing to measure. But that is another whole point. But neutrinos, they have advantage over cosmic rays because this will get stopped and this will not get stopped. Then we also have gravitational waves. We started to be able to detect gravitational waves from uh, you know mergers of two black holes, for example, like a cataclysmic kind of event in the cosmos, something like this, can basically produce gravitational waves that were, predicted by Einstein in his general relativity. But we started to pick up on them some years ago. So this is relatively new. So I would say these two things, these are relatively new. Within the last 10, 15 years, there's been a lot of progress in utilizing neutrinos and gravitational waves to probe astrophysics. Cosmic rays, I would say in the last 50, 60 years, okay? But basically nowadays you want to consider multiple types of messengers here for doing astrophysics. You can't rely on just one, okay? And like in the past we used to do it only with optical light, looking at the sky like this with a telescope, and that's just not enough anymore because of the various types of things going on. As you can see, like the sky itself is different in other wavelengths of light. So if you only look with visible light, you're missing out on a whole picture, and whatnot. You want to be using other wavelengths of light, but not just that. You want to be utilizing other types of particles completely, and that's what this thesis is really about. And then it narrows down further into neutrinos, which is the main work here. Okay, and then I wanted to show you this as well because this is sort of talking about the energy regime that I was talking about earlier. Did you read this? Yes, this is my thesis. So, so I've named a few experiments here, okay, that are in the different energy regimes. So this is a low energy regime, 10 to the 9 EV and less, okay? Then there is 10 to the 9 to 10 to the 17 EV. Then there's more than 10 to the 17 EV in this energy arrow, okay? So now things like Hyper K and Dune, you might have heard of these experiments. These are sort of in that energy regime, okay? The lower energy. Then there is high energy, things like Ice Cube, the Large Hadron Collider. You guys talked about that one, Antares. Those kind of fall into this high energy regime. And then there's ultra high energy regime, which is where the center of momentum energy is going to be over 45 TeV. So see how this 45 TeV number is quite a bit more than 14 TeV, right? So 45 TeV, center of momentum energy. So that is more than the Large Hadron Collider's capability of 14 TeV. But the neutrino energy or the particle energy here is down here. So it's going to be more than 10 to the 17 EV. But Anita, my experiment falls in this regime. So and even Auger. So Auger, so remember Auger was the cosmic ray experiment we saw in that in this picture. Remember, Auger is important in getting the cosmic ray flux as a function of energy and understanding things about cosmic ray business. Okay, that is also important. So now this is just kind of summarizing a number of these experiments that are in this field of particle astrophysics and just in general particle physics, because Dune and Hyper-K are more, um, I'd consider them more particle physics experiments. And then Antares, these are, I would say these are all particle astrophysics experiments. I mean, maybe Dune is, maybe Dune is, it might be astro. I'm not really super sure what they consider themselves. I would consider them just particle physics probably, but New Moon, I believe, is just an idea. I think they wanted to do something on the moon actually, but I don't think that's happened yet. But basically, you want to kind of put into context a number of these experiments that are in this field to kind of show where everything is in terms of the energy, where everything is in terms of, the energy regime with respect to each other. Because basically, let's say Ice Cube is over here, right? Let's say Ice Cube is measuring neutrinos in this energy regime. You want to be able to complement it and be somewhere here. So you complement and you kind of cover this energy regime as well as this one. And then something like a Scarian radio array is sort of in the middle there, uh, between Ice Cube and Anita. And like the more complementary, and a little bit of redundancy. You want some complementary and you want some redundancy in terms of the experiments and what they cover and what the energy regime is, because really, like, we're interested in understanding physics at all of these different energy regimes. Okay, we can't just be looking into one and not the other ones. And also, we want to be able to talk about all of them. Like, you could be working on one, like I worked on this one mainly, but you have to be able to talk about all of these. Like, you have to be able to understand sort of, all of them, so that it's not like you don't exist in a vacuum, right? Nothing exists in a vacuum of uh, something like that. So this is a cartoon I made, by the way. I can show this again next time, but basically we'll talk about it. But this cartoon kind of shows an ultra high energy neutrino, um, coming into the Antarctic ice. So this is why we go to Antarctica. There's a lot of ice there, and we're basically utilizing the ice in Antarctica Okay. as a dielectric medium, and we want the neutrino that's coming from the astrophysics source, or some interesting phenomena. We want it to come in, and we want it to interact in the ice and make a particle shower. And it actually looks like a pancake, this particle shower. And then it travels through this medium at a speed, uh, that is greater than the speed of light in the medium. So not the speed of light in vacuum, but in this medium. Okay. And basically this is starting a pancake shaped particle shower. And then we get Cherenkov radiation because uh, of this phenomena happening of the pancake shaped particle shower moving through the ice at a speed greater than the speed of light in that medium. And you also get coherent. So this Cherenkov radiation has coherent emission if you look, um, at wavelengths greater than the shower size. So in this case, that would be radio waves. So this is quite a bit of detail, but there is some geometry here that I wanted to show you, in a cartoon form, so that it's not too difficult. Like, see, this is just bedrock. This, bedrock. I mean, Antarctica doesn't have, it's mostly all ice. Like, this is not to scale at all. Like, this cartoon is not to scale. There's air, there's ice, there's bedrock. I don't even know if there's a lot of bedrock really, but basically you'd come in. The ocean would be here. You know what I mean? Like the Southern Ocean water is like it starts to like go under the ice actually. So basically the ice reaches pretty much the bottom of the continent there. So anyway, so the neutrino comes in, it interacts in the ice, and it causes a Cherenkov radiation in the ice that we pick up on with our instrument. And that's the idea behind this detection method. Okay. Hopefully all that made sense. I can show it again tomorrow, but I didn't really explain Cherenkov radiation today because I'll probably do that next time. But hopefully that cartoon helped with understanding kind of what is going on in it's sort of a preemptive look at the detection method. Um, Flux is Flux. Thank you, Wyatt. So so hopefully all that was helpful. This is my thesis. It's a this is the name of the thesis, by the way. Studies in particle astrophysics with the Anita experiment. Um, it's pretty old at this point, actually, not very new anymore. There's the abstract. You know, you can find this online actually if you just search for it. It is free and available to people. There's a so I made a nice index here. Let's go to this is clickable. So yeah, see, I have a chapter on gamma ray bursts. I called it review of my favorite transients gamma ray bursts. So we can talk about this as well next time. But basically, these gamma ray bursts are nice sources, predicted sources for the neutrinos that interested me a lot. So maybe we can talk about that. Hi, Unforgettable. How are you doing? But yeah, I would say this picture is very important as a background. We're doing multi-messenger astronomy. Um, cosmic rays get stopped doing things like this, but this is also how you can potentially have ultra high energy neutrinos. Neutrinos are a good messenger. I don't know yet. I would love to go to Chile. And here's your energy regime. And we're going to talk about that experiment Anita. And we're going to, next time I'll say more about the Cherenkov radiation. But some of you might be familiar. I am sick. I'm very sick. I had the flu. Some of you might be familiar with the Cherenkov radiation already. But I'll cover it for sure next time. I don't have the energy today, beyond what I just said. I have the flu, guys. Thank you so much. I will be going to bed now. Thank you for all your help and support. Thank you, universe, for all your help and support, and blessings and protection, and kindness and guidance towards me and my children and family and friends. Safe travels and take care to everybody. Thank you for listening to the physics topic of tonight. And if you see, you should rewind the live. If you got here just now, you should rewind. And if you see my videos coming, that's right. Neutrinos are very important.
I have the flu, yeah. Neutrinos are an extremely important cosmic ingredient. Keep it in mind for our remember today's lecture for when we discuss the universe and cosmology at large, okay? Because neutrinos will appear in that discussion too. Neutrinos are an important cosmic ingredient, so keep this in mind. I know the discussion today was kind of focused on them, but don't lose the bigger picture. A neutrino is a particle. It's a particle in the same family of particles as the electron, but it's not the electron, okay? It's another, it's a particle, yeah. There are many particles. We've talked about particles in the past. You should definitely check out all my different live stream episodes, okay? Find one where I talk about the particles. Please do go and check under the live tab of my channel, and you will find all the different episodes where we cover various types of physics. And please do listen to them at any point in the background or whatever. There is a lot that is up there already, okay? And no worries if there was something you didn't know, you will know it. But yeah, neutrino is a type of particle. It's a lepton, is another way of saying the particle family that it belongs to is called a lepton. Can we get 50 likes? Like and subscribe. Do this. Okay. Mm, mm. Let me rename the. I'm renaming the life. ELC. Hello. MEV? Thank you for joining. Hmm. Mm. Oh, thank you. I'm not sad, I'm sick. I have the flu. My hair needs styling. I need money more than styling. Money, rest, and health and well-being. Thank you, universe. Thank you, Ben. Stay safe, okay? Take care. Ben, be careful. And if you make it to the US, can you let me know as a comment on one of my videos or something? Thank you, Raphael. Raphael, are you still in Switzerland or did you go to Canada or something? Doesn't everyone need money? Good luck. Oh, good. I seem to remember. So I got it right. You're in Zurich, but you are going to Canada. Okay. Could you post a video for people taking Physics 1? Oh, you know, I could try to do that. Physics 1 is so boring. Is that what you're taking? People say it in front of a camera all the time, darling. That's called working on social media. You're taking Physics 1 next semester? Ugh. I mean, I used to teach it a lot, but it's a job, why not? Thank you, Ben. I think there's some new people here, which is fine. You should like and subscribe. New people. Huh. Ugh. New people, like and subscribe. And keep coming back to the lives. I think then you'll understand a bit better about what is going on. Okay. Huh. Um, Toronto's nice. This person is giving me hair tips. So I said, I don't need hair tips. I need money. And apparently that was too honest. I think it's my honesty that cannot be handled by some, which is fine. I get it. As in I don't, but okay. Um, all the people doing YouTube are working. Thank you, Ben. Ben gets it. Ben has come to many of my lives. So I think he's in a better position. I want to learn more about quantum mechanics, but I'm a chem major only in Gen Chem. I feel bad for you. To be honest, the physics classes are way better if you're a physics major, obviously. Physics 1 is kind of a boring class, and I don't know if I'll cover it here because I've taught it many, many times and it's not really my favorite topics at all. It's just the stuff you need to do in order to, graduate and go on to do better things. But have fun. It's just a semester of that stuff. So, I mean, if you have any questions, put them in the comments of my videos and I can try to answer. I mean, it's just Newtonian mechanics, some thermodynamics, whatever, it's not going to be that big of a deal, I don't think, but it can be a little annoying and boring. Um, Quantum mechanics, it would be good if you could take quantum mechanics at some point, like maybe get the majors class for quantum mechanics, because that will be way better than I think the chemistry version of it or whatever. And it's really not a very difficult class, actually. See, quantum mechanics, you you only need linear algebra and some calculus. You don't even need it's not the most mathiest of classes. So if you can take the physics majors class for quantum mechanics, that would be best, okay? Yeah. Hope that helps. Sorry, I've done all this quite a while ago, so that's true. College is very expensive. A single college class typically costs between $1,000 and $3,000 per course. Yeah, it's like hundreds of dollars per credit, and a physics class would be like 3 to 4 credits. So it is in the thousands for sure. I'm in community college, planning on taking physics 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's good. If you can get some of that stuff out of the way in community college, that's like highly recommended actually. That's really good. This class is worth the money. The university is not free, friends. Thank you, Ben. Obviously, this is mostly outreach because you can see that um, the channel is supported by donations and people, supporting in whatever way they can. So obviously, it's mostly just volunteer and outreach work. But I think it's a little ridiculous when people think that this is not a lot of work. Thank you, Jeremy. Jeremy said you're too smart for me. I'm just here because you're pretty. Oh, well, thank you. I hope that you find the topics interesting. You're here because I'm pretty. So, well, that helps too, I suppose. I was just addressing someone who said you have nice hair, but it's obviously not true. Well, I mean, it's not styled. It seems healthy. Okay. Can I pay you to stop talking about hairstyling? I'm willing. I'm willing. But also, actually, can you talk more about hairstyling? Because I want some hair products to sponsor me. I can show their bottle of hairstyling product before I teach physics. And that way, people get free education on physics, and Dove can pay the bills. You know what I mean? Because these lights, they're not free. They cost a lot of money to have food, home, shelter, and water in Boston. So Dove, Unilever, here's some hair. Thank you, universe. I don't take my hair for granted at all. Thank you. And touch wood and evil I remove. Private university. Mm, 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 mm. Don't harass her. Oh, this is nothing. You guys are new. This is quite literally one of the quietest lives I've had in a while. Um, can we get 60 likes? Then again, most of my viewers are men. What shampoo do men use? Ben, what's your shampoo? Is it Dove for men? Axe. Head and Shoulders, Jamaican castor oil. That's the shampoo you use, Raytheon? Can we get 60 likes? WD-40. Bye, Sabaloo. Thank you. Are you a woman? Sabaloo? Before you go, tell me, are you a woman? You might be the only one. Beautiful science woman. Aww. Poor girl. Poor girl. Poor girl. Poor girl. Thank you. Please subscribe. Please do like, share, and subscribe. I didn't think I would make it to a live today, but I did. And not only that, I even talked about neutrinos. Good job, me. Good job to me. Thank you, God. And thank you, universe. Everybody stay safe. Dove body wash. Huh. Hi, Yep Yep. Aww. Thank you for sharing your wonderful information. So I don't know if I shared too much today, but if you want to know more about that, you should ask next time, okay? Any questions about physics degrees or the topics, let me know. Good job to me. Good job to me. My face looks tired, but I still showed up. Good job to me. Thank you. Good night, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Mwah. Thank you, guys. Good night. You never post your fit or what you look like. Like outfit? I don't know. I look good. It's boring. It's boring. It's boring how good I look every single day. It's boring. Thank you, universe, and thank you, God. I talk about physics because that's not boring. This is my sweater and this is my blue dress underneath it. The blue dress is from Amazon. I hope. I hope my flu is less tomorrow. Um, good night and sleep tight. Mwah. 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 Mwah.